I was there. Let me explain. If you live under a rock and you haven't heard, Ludwig's event was on December 11th. It was a chess boxing event, and if you don't know what chess boxing is, it's hilarious. So there's 7 rounds in total. Round 1, you have 120 seconds or 2 minutes to play chess against each other, okay? And if there's no checkmate, you stand up, put your gloves on, and you start boxing for 90 seconds. If there's no knockout or no technical knockout during this boxing round, guess what? You sit right back down and resume where you left off on the chessboard for another 120 seconds. But good luck thinking straight after you get punched in the face for 90 seconds straight. It's actually crazy. You should have seen the way these people were just sitting there panting, trying to regain consciousness as they're deciding something extremely strategic and trying to figure out what next chess position to move. It was crazy, but there's a few things that you should know before we get started here. During the chess rounds, you can lose by checkmate, obviously, or you can lose by running out of time. Each player has a total of 4 minutes to make their moves. During the boxing rounds, you can lose by getting knocked out cold or by not being able to convince the referee that you're conscious enough to continue fighting. You're supposed to put your gloves up and follow directions. The referee might say, look straight, look left, look right, look up, look down, just to get a gauge of your consciousness. Now, this is where it gets weird with Andrea Botez and her opponent, Dina Belenkaya, okay? So it was widely accepted that Dina, being a highly rated and experienced woman grandmaster professional chess player, she would have the upper hand against Andrea when it comes to chess. And it was also expected that Andrea would put up a huge fight during the boxing rounds, being that she's 8 years younger, fitter, heavier, and as a result, more powerful and more energetic. Well, that's exactly how it played out. Dina played some amazing chess, and Andrea came out swinging during the boxing rounds. Round 1, Andrea goes with the London system opening. It's one of the best ways to get all of your pieces developed quickly. You get control of the board, you feel safe, especially when you're about to start punching each other. So if you want to learn more about the London system, check out Gotham Chess's entire YouTube channel. He has some great videos that walk through everything you need to know about pretty much every opening that you can even think of, but the London specifically is a great one to learn if you want to get started. But Dina, she plays extremely aggressive and applies a lot of pressure to get in Andrea's head and create an imbalance to keep Andrea thinking. And the more Andrea has to think, the less of an advantage she has against someone who's as experienced as Dina. So they end their first round with about a 40-second difference in time, which in chess at this level is an eternity. And then they get up for boxing. Round 2, the entire crowd goes nuts. Everyone's excited to see what's going to happen. Andrea opens it up, throws some big jabs, quick taps, and early swings. She keeps things moving. She's powerful and quick on her feet, but Dina throws some counter punches and some preventative jabs, taking advantage of her 1-inch reach advantage. But look, she's constantly on the back pedal. She can't seem to turn the tables to become the aggressor like she was in chess. Andrea's just too aggressive and applies too much pressure. But maybe a little too much pressure. Look at this. Andrea whips out a spinning windmill backhand punch thing, which you can't do that. Not allowed, but we're going to let that slide. More body shots, head shots, hooks, and jabs. Dina's battery starts to drain while Andrea's still bouncing around and jabbing. It's actually fascinating to watch the energy difference here, the cardio difference. There was one clinch breakup, and a clinch is when they get, clinched up together. They grapple up and hug each other, essentially. And whenever that happens, the referee breaks it up, but the clock keeps running. Jump right back into the fight, and Andrea gets some more swings, and then that round ends. Round 3, Dina continues her aggressive and exciting chess. So Dina opening up the board, moving her pawns forward, applying a lot of pressure to Andrea's London, and castled king. Now, Levy from Gotham Chess on YouTube brought up a great point by saying Dina is playing great because she's only exhausted. She's not rocked or injured in any way from that boxing. And being a professional chess player, you're used to being really tired. I mean, you burn a lot of calories playing chess, but she wasn't hurt enough to have her chess game ruined. Dina positions herself to honestly win this whole thing by the next chess round. All she has to do is survive the boxing. And it's super important to note that Dina has almost double Andrea's time on the board. It's not looking too good for Andrea on the chessboard, but they resume their boxing. Now Andrea has full energy and she's looking for damage. She's landing swings as Dina is constantly on her back foot, just trying to survive. Andrea, bobbing and weaving, lands a big overhand swing on Dina's temple, causing the ref to stop the fight and start counting. Now this is the first standing count, and it's very important that we count these, okay? This is the first one. Dina has 10 seconds to convince the ref that she's okay and she can keep going. She needs to raise her gloves up. She needs to show herself as coherent enough to continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and she's able to continue past the standing count and avoids the technical knockout. Then back to more swings. Dina is exhausted. Look at her hands dropping. She's slouching, trying to breathe. She's backpedaling constantly, just trying barely to survive that round. And now they're back to chess. And this whole time the crowd is going crazy. Now, Andrea's the first move, time ticks away, and look at this time difference. Dina is way ahead, way more comfortable on time. Dina, she gets forked by Andrea's knight on c7. So if you know anything about chess, you know that this fork, it puts her in a really bad situation. Obviously, I mean, you either lose your rook or you have to move your king, and it's not a good scenario either way. But interestingly enough, Dina doesn't care because she came in with a plan. Look, she continues to move her queen. She's aggressive. She moves forward. She applies more pressure to that cornered king over there. She has that plan and she knows how to move forward from here. Andrea finds herself in a potentially forced mate situation. The entire crowd was going insane because they could all see it, but they had soundproof headphones on, so they couldn't hear the crowd going nuts. But she was a few moves away from just not having a legal move and as a result losing the game. Andrea needs this to go back to boxing. So she could have stalled more here. She kind of stalled a little bit, but she's just trying to relieve some pressure, and she takes some material, and Dina misses her checkmate opportunity. Now this was super interesting because being such a high level chess player, you usually don't miss these types of things, but after you get punched in the face enough, you usually miss these type of things. So they run out of time and they go back to boxing. Andrea, again, full of energy out of nowhere. And Dina is just constantly backpedaling, trying to survive, getting hit, running away at some point. Then we get a stoppage, and this is the second standing count of the fight. Now Dina's leaning back. She looks okay, and she convinces the ref that she's ready to go for more. And this is important to note because if there are 4 counts, it's over. If the ref has to stop this whole thing and start counting 4 times, it's over. Dina is now playing extremely defensively, desperately trying to get back into the chessboard because she just really needs to get back into chess. But look, she gets a few more jabs to the face. They get clinched up a little bit. They get broken up because you're not allowed to just stand there and hug each other. With only 40 seconds left, Dina, again, playing defensively and literally running away to try to survive Andrea's powerful swings and high energy. But she takes a huge jab to the face, which warrants the ref to stand there and start his third standing count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And she convinces that she's ready. The gloves are up and she's going to try to keep surviving. Remember, 1 more count and it's over. Andrea sprints back into this fight because she knows it's now or never. This is their last boxing match. She has to break Dina this round right now. She's applying massive pressure, forcing Dina up against the ropes, which causes another breakup. Now there's only 10 seconds left, and there's another breakup. And with less than 5 seconds to go, the ref starts his 4th standing count of the fight. The 4th standing count of the fight. It's kind of delayed. He's kind of assessing the situation. He counts to 1, but the boxing round stops. They ran out of time. Dina waited it out. Dina stalled. Dina was saved by the bell. Now, technically, this fight should have been over. There are a few options here for the ref. He could have continued the count beyond the round and determined whether or not she's able to continue, or he should have called it because this was technically his 4th technical knockout, the 4th standing count, and Andrea should have won by a TKO right there. The crowd goes insane. People are booing, throwing up the number 4, signaling that that was the 4th count. Everyone was confused. People were pacing back and forth. The energy was wild. No one around me was sitting. The entire stadium was on their feet. It was a crazy level of energy. And jumping into round 6, people started it off by booing. And Andrea, with the clock just racing down, desperately tries to move, but you just don't have enough time when you're up against the woman grandmaster. And they have 3 minutes and 36 seconds on the clock. So Andrea just resigns with 1 second left on the clock, and it's game over. So Andrea throws some final verbal jabs by calling it a hide and seek match instead of a chess boxing match.
I thought this was a chess boxing match. It felt more like hide and seek.
And then reels it back in and respectfully congratulates Dina on the better chess play. And Dina acknowledged Andrea has better cardio and being better at boxing, but she just really wanted to prove that she could learn to box and play chess, and she did. Overall, great job on both their parts, and they stalled where they were weaker. Technically, we all know Andrea should have won that. And there was actually an official announcement by Mogul Moves on Twitter stating that after reviewing the fight and talking to the chess boxing officials, Andrea should have won by TKO because the referee initiated the 4th standing count. So they talked to Andrea and Dina, but they won't reverse the win decision because the fighters played it out in the moment. And they did, however, give a belt to Andrea for her performance and, to kind of correct the decision that was made in the ring. But it doesn't stop there. Dina comments and jokingly says that she has decided to revert to the reverting decision and asks for a rematch. So we'll see what happens next. All in all, it was an amazing fight. It was an amazing chess game. It was an amazing event, and my wife and I enjoyed every second of it ringside. So shout out to Ludwig for throwing this $1.5 million event together. Subscribe if you're into this kind of thing, and okay, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.
So again, thank you, and I hope to do a lot more cool events in 2023 that are worth your time. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night.